Hello, and welcome to God First, life lessons based on the teachings of Reverend Young-hee Peck. Today, we will be taking a look at Walk with God. Let's jump right in. Many view wealth as good and poverty as bad, and similarly, good health is favored over illness. People often assess their lives and make decisions based on their point of view. However, this passage emphasizes that living solely by our own perspective leads us away from the righteous path, resulting in rejection by God. Through the stories of Samuel, David, and Saul, we see the different manifestations of this error and the consequences they bring. Walking with God means seeing things differently from the world. What might seem bad to others can actually be good with the right perspective. Instead of following our own desires, we should follow God's plan. When we're connected with God, we judge things based on whether they fit with His purpose or not. If we're not walking with God, everything we pursue ends in failure, no matter how hard we try. So how do we know what's good for us and what's not? We follow God's directions with a genuine connection to Him, and it leads to blessings from Him. So, should we trust our own ideas of what's best, or should we follow the wisdom of God as shown in the Bible and through the inspiration of the Holy Spirit? Samuel, David, and Saul make similar mistakes in varying degrees, meeting varying consequences from God. At first, Samuel relies on his own judgment and thinks he should choose the older brother as king because he looks impressive. But God corrects him, and Samuel understands his mistake, choosing David instead. David mostly follows God, but there were times he gave in to his desires and sins, facing severe punishment. Saul enjoys fame and power as a king, but puts his own desires before God's commands, leading to his complete rejection by God. When we stay connected to God and let Him guide our actions, all creation works for us. Even if something seems correct in our eyes, if it leads us away from God, we'll suffer, just like Saul did. When God's Spirit leaves us, His protection and support go with it, allowing evil to take over our lives. Once God left Saul, evil thoughts consumed him. He became solely focused on his own agenda. Despite his efforts, this situation worsened. Saul grew increasingly paranoid, consumed by worries about maintaining his power. Completely abandoned by God, Saul lived in anguish until his terrible death. In contrast, when he was on the run pursued by Saul, it only glorified and positioned David to be adored by the people. While on the run, David never acted on his own but followed God. David rose and became king of Israel. When we walk with God, even what seems the most terrible situation will benefit us. God cares for us, and all things, even the seemingly awful, become a blessing. When God is not with us, no matter what we do, we are met with failure and pain. When we become selfish and ignore God's plan, it only hurts us in the end. This is very simple and clear. When God's Spirit enters, we stop thinking of ourselves and focus on God. When we walk with God, all creation works for our benefit. If we hold on to God, God will never throw us away. There is nothing greater than God's care, and nothing more fearful than being rejected by God. Thank you, and for more lessons like this, please visit our website at www.godfirstpeck.com. Until next time,